Hi everyone. Peter Robbins was recently on a show named Paranormal Now. On that show he made a number of comments about his co-author on Left at Eastgate, Larry Warren. What follows now is Larry's reply to Peter. Hi Larry, it's over to you now, mate. Please fire away.
All right, thanks. Such nice weather here in the north of England today that I'm not going to sit around typing. Eventually I will do so. It's not my forte. I don't enjoy doing it. Don't enjoy doing with this, and I never envisioned in my 56 years I'd have to, but here goes. And I hope some ears take a listen, because you better. But before that, dig my Grateful Dead t-shirt all day long. Deadhead all the way. This is for Peter Robbins. Peter, my old pal, my buddy, my friend, guy I've known 30 years, I think. I brought you into this thing. I had a different guy in mind before, but he wasn't just right. I wasn't sure you were because, number one, you kind of skipped out on Vietnam, and I have many friends that actually went. That was always an issue. I was raised a different way than you were, and from maybe a little different time, but that's fine. That's you. We have had differences, folks, for years. We are different as night and day. We would be. We're different environments, different everything. I heard, I'm going to speak generally. I'm not going to speak at Peter. Since Peter, back in October, you sent me these letters, and I was waiting to get a letter through the mailbox, believe it or not. You said you send things to Sue. Well, Sue's my ex-wife. I might see her every few months, maybe. Or if she calls me to yell at me about something, but that's about it. She's an ex-wife, mother of my son. So, she's not my mail carrier. Never has been. She's not obligated to be. So when you tell me mail and I am not a computer guy, I'm waiting for a postman to come. They still are around, in England anyway, and the post never came. What you did do, and what I understand now, is send a private thing because you had a little hissy fit that I didn't respond to you quick enough. Life goes on. I have a teenage son. You wouldn't know about those things, but, there's a lot of effort and work involved in all that when they're that age. Mother with dementia in the hospital. I always hear about your family, which I love very much. Well, I've got one too. We've got problems in our family, just like every other family. Mother with dementia, which you're well aware of. This, that, and the other. Stepmother just passing away. I don't make these a real public thing. You tend to do a lot of that. That's just not my style. But where I'm kind of surprised is you sent all these private correspondence. Sue was fine, but you sent them to everybody before I ever read them or ever got them. That's how you do business? It's almost a blackmail kind of thing. And we had that issue with a phone bill back in '88, if you remember, but we'll go into that here. My mother sure does if she had a memory. That's the way that is. You are not pristine and Snow White. And you know it and I know it. The issues we have. Now, I want to just address here, because I can't do this. I'm not going to slag you off. But either you have lost your mind completely and have decided to erase 30 years of your work, and yet I see you promoting Holton Woodbridge. So you slight me, so I didn't go through the events, though I heard it from someone else. But somehow I took you to the correct location in '88. Well, it was no magic. I was there. That's the way it was, and you weren't. And, so all you did is have my word. And the soil analysis did bear that out. Numerous tests with Matt Moniz. You know that. I know that. Lots of people know that. But now you're promoting the Holt book you wrote, which is excellent, Holton Woodbridge. After you've tried to destroy Left at Eastgate. Well, I got news for you, buddy. I wrote, that title is mine. I'm the principal author. That story is mine, not yours. You jumped on the Love Boat. You went for the ride. No one held a gun to your head. You saw what you saw. You saw the evidence as you did. Now you have decided to ally yourself with people that have not only harassed me, but my family. I've had to take legal action against your friend David Young, Sasha Christie, Allison Dunlop, and James Francis, I love Star Wars Welsh. You can't not know about all this. If you do, you have definitely a deficit of character, my friend. Definitely. And you should get your head checked. Sometimes that finds out things you don't want to know. You're not getting any younger, Petey. But what you've done here, we call that treachery where I come from. We call it disrespect. You got to understand, and you wrote the book with me, your parts. What you say now is irrelevant to me simply because the story is mine and only 90% of the book is about my family, friends, and people in my life. Not about that damn Rendlesham. That's 1, 2 chapters. That's all. And then you took evidence, which is established as fact. You were there when Colonel Holt reviewed the evidence, such as my military record, and he confirmed it was fact. Again, you've decided to ally yourself with these 4 people I mentioned, which are a cancer on Britain, a cancer, led by Christie, who now is reduced to having her little son, who's the chef, make threats on me. Not good. Not good. So I don't know why you're blind. You're tired of Rendlesham, someone told me. Me too. Lots of people are. You know Adrian Bastinza has done almost 4 decades of backing up my account. I was with him. You have now decided to tell Steve Longero he's a liar also. Why Adrian changed it? That's for you brilliant folks in ufology that like to circle jerk each other every weekend at some conference and tell everyone how great you are and shit on a witness here and there. That's all you're about, you guys. Not just you, Pete. You're just kind of hook on. But you've hooked on, my friend, with some of the most wretched human beings. You have allied yourself with Nick Pope, who absolutely insulted you, who you destroyed in your ebook, Deliberate Deception. And now what you seem to have done is just said, I'm a stupid ass and I don't know nothing. And, people have to the question would begs the question, I should say. Why did you ride the train for 30 years? That's kind of weird. Because, you were doing me when I wasn't even in the States to do me. Because you had the gig. I do me better. I've told you that for years. It got to the point where you and me on stage, people would ask me a question, you'd say, I get this. This is where I created a monster. I'm not from theater, showbiz. I don't want any goddamn off-Broadway play written about me. You got mad about that. That ain't me, man. Some ballerinas jumping around recreating Rendlesham, whatever the hell you people had in mind, you and that spread guy who didn't even have the cojones to come meet me and my son, the guy's writing a play about. You angry about that? Then there's the other thing. You're angry about the guy out of Canada, never called me for any documentary. And you think I ignored him? Never contacted me. I'm not a moron. And everything else you said. Now let's go to your radio show real quick that you just did. You're talking about rock and roll memorabilia. You know better than anyone. I've been in that industry for, off and on about 28 years, I guess. You have been to major auction houses with me. You have seen some of the heaviest properties resold, bought and resold in the industry. My properties are in the Hard Rock Cafes worldwide, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and these are things, sir, that you are not only just heard about, you were there for so much of it. You do realize that that industry financed our book. You didn't. I did. You know that too. And now you say there are questions? Let me tell you, after 28 years, what I just said is the fact. When people have little things and want to spin, let them do it. You know better, and this is what blows me away. That's fine. If there's anything else, that was the big one. It's just total bullshit, my friend. I'm sick of being polite to you. I called you. I wanted to sort out your issues on the phone, and you threw one. That brings me to the other thing. Facebook has the PM setting on its Facebooks. You and I interacted often. Sometimes I'd blow my stack at you. Then I would apologize. Sometimes you would blow yours at me. You'd apologize. But I note it says private message. My friend, what you've done, and I'm fully aware, and not just me, you shared which I have no problem with, Because believe me, I call you some of them things right now, but I'm going to be a gentleman. I have a Grateful Dead shirt on. It goes against the band. You know full well what you did. So that you are not this honorable kind of guy. Now, the problem I have here is that having to go at you. You dropped the shoes, brother. I didn't. I would have happily dealt with this between you and me. Get on with your life, Peter. Do whatever you do. Talk about Bud. Talk about this. Stop talking about me. If I could remove your kind of backing me up in our book, I'd do it. But I'm going to do a new one. Anyway, it's just due to be done anyway. I'm proud of that book. Happy with the work you did in it. Could not have done it without you. No way. However, I am the guy that had his passport suspended for those reasons. And you know about that too, because you got Ramsey Clark involved. I don't know what's going on with your head. I don't care anymore. So, again, I think the world of your family. I wish you well, but I will come back at you 30 times harder than you can hit me. I don't mean physically. I mean, I will, because brother, it's going to rain hell. It really will. And it's a shame it had to come to this. And the friends you choose, Peter, always got us in trouble. Always. Every deal you ever made, the publisher thing with John White, always. I want to do one more thing again, and I remind you of it. Talk about loyalty, and I'll end it on this. In 1996, our agent, Perry Knowlton, called me in Vermont and told me that I should drop you from the book, and I didn't. You remember this, don't you, Peter? And to drop you from our book. He said simply, not that he didn't like you, he just didn't think the narrative needed you in it. You weren't involved, and he just thought the story should be the story. I said, no, I can't do that. I thank you, kept the channels open, but I thank you. We lost him as an agent for that decision that I made, and that was standing with you, because I know what brotherhood's about. That's something you don't know. I understand that. It isn't all Broadway and showbiz and premieres, brother. And, it just ain't in this life. So anyway, that's me. And then when I let you know about it, because you pissed me off on wanting your name first on the book, I'm the principal. I began the book a year before you. You remember these conversations, Pete, probably. Bottom line is, then I had to tell you about it. And I remember your response real well. And I'm going to end this point on this point. You said, well, if you do that, you can't use any of my work that I put in the book. And I just said, here we go. And so I knew what you were about, even just before the book came out. I did. And that's it. I got nothing to back off. I put out a polygraph challenge for everyone. You like to get involved. Remember, Peter, when we passed the voice stress analysis? Other witnesses didn't. Joe Montaldo, you remember that? And the little witchcraft girl, Christy, is the one that set it up. You have been sucked into something, I don't know what. You don't like me anymore? Good, fine. But you've been sucked in, and it only will damage you. So I'm going to wish you well. Love to your family. And I'm so sorry you've done this to yourself. And I'll leave it at that note. Good day to you, sir.